Croakey, and I'm here with Melissa Sweet of Croakey. We're in Melbourne for the inaugural Melbourne CroakeyGO walk, and Melissa's going to tell us all about it. What is CroakeyGO?
Well, first of all, Mari, I'd like to say hello and thank you very much for organising this walk and for hosting me this week. It's been lovely catching up. As members of the Croakey Connective so rarely get to meet in real life. And I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we're on the country of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and what beautiful country it is that we're walking today, and what a lovely day Melbourne's turned on for us. We were a little bit nervous earlier in the week when it was raining and windy, but it's just a beautiful day. So if you can't join us in real life in Melbourne, please tune in to the hashtag CroakeyGO. We'd love it if you could retweet and follow the conversations that we're having. We'll be doing some Periscope interviews as we go. So what is CroakeyGO? I guess it's a way of walking the talk a little bit in public health, and we had the idea of calling it walking journalism as well. So at Croakey we've built, I think through our networks and our collaborative connective networks, we've built quite a bit of social capital in terms of social media, that we can reach out to a lot of people in a lot of places and have conversations. So CroakeyGO is really about, I guess, using that as a platform to go to different places and hear from people about what are the health matters on their minds. It's about creating networks and connections for storytelling, for building momentum around the health matters that matter to people, to communities, and so on.
We've been joined by Daniel James, which is hello Daniel.
Hello Daniel.
And also by the National Rural Health Alliance, who have said that it looks cold. It does. I think it looks colder than it actually is. But yes, you talked about CroakeyGO, but we also talk about social journalism. You talked about walking journalism. Can you talk about? Hi from Daniel. Can you talk about how do you define social journalism, and where does walking journalism fit within that?
Well, I guess social journalism, it wasn't as if at Croakey we set out to say, oh, we're going to do social journalism. We just set out to experiment, and we work on a very low budget at Croakey, which forces you to try different things and work in different ways. So when we relaunched Croakey as a standalone platform a few years ago, we were thinking, well, what is it that we're doing? And then we read an article by Professor Jeff Jarvis from City University at New York, who was sort of one of the people who's coined the term social journalism, and it's now being taught there in a journalism school. And when we read his definition, it just resonated with what we try to do at Croakey, which is about engaging with community, working collaboratively. And at Croakey, I guess we also really take a standpoint in that, we're not here to give equal weight to climate deniers and climate science. We take a stand. We think evidence matters. We think health equity matters. We think fairness is critical for health. And, I think in working with community as a non-Indigenous journalist, and you're as a non-Indigenous journalist as well, we've learnt so much from working with our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander colleagues, for example, and, do a huge shout out here to Summer May Finlay and Dr. Megan Williams in particular, but others as well.
Who we work with on Just Justice particularly. And there's been some pushback, and there is pushback from mainstream media, isn't there, about those issues, those principles of social journalism, where it actually defies the idea of objectivity that is sort of, is held so strongly in many mainstream things. How do you talk to those issues?
Well, first of all, I think media organisations and the media landscape has become very polarised in the same way that we see, more broadly across other institutions as well. So it's not as if mainstream media organisations are coming from some sacrosanct place of objectivity. Often they're, very much guided by what their corporate or ideological, values and framing are. Personally, I don't think there is such a thing as objectivity. We all come from a particular position. We all reflect, our experience, our worldviews, where we're located in a society or a community. So, as a counter to objectivity, we take the standpoint. We're clear, transparent about that, and I guess we invite people to walk with us. That doesn't mean we have a fixed viewpoint at all. Within a standpoint, there can be a range of views about how best to tackle climate change or inequity, etc. It's about respectful dialogue, listening, to a wide range of expertise.
We're now being joined by Dr. Ruth Armstrong, our Croaky colleague, and also Angela Hare, who I think I go back to Adelaide days with. So with CroakeyGO, speaking of Ruth joining, we've done Sydney. You had a Sydney walk and you put up a post at Croakey about that. Where do you see CroakeyGO is going?
Well, I'd just like to acknowledge Ruth, Dr. Ruth Armstrong, who really kicked off the CroakeyGO series at Croakey, not least because of her own fabulous walking stories that she's shared with us, but she also organised the Sydney CroakeyGO walk several weeks ago, and it was a really beautiful day through beautiful country from Manly to the Spit Bridge. So, it was really that day that got us thinking about the idea of walking journalism, because we didn't actually say we'll go on this walk and we'll get CroakeyGO trending. We just went on that walk to catch up, to share photos, to tweet, and we trended nationally as a hashtag. And so that made us think, we've got something here and we could use this as a platform. We could go to communities, we could go to country towns, we could go to conferences, we could go to health services and, walk with us, and we have a platform for amplifying issues and bringing people together as well.
And if people were interested in doing that, what would you advise them to do?
To get in touch with us, tweet us.
How should they do that?
Well, they can do that via Twitter. So there's the hashtags Croakey News, there's We Public Health, there's CroakeyBlog, there's Murray McInerney, there's all the Croakey team, Dr. Ruth at Large, Coops to Tat, Amy Coops, there's Jennifer Doggett, there's Summer May Finlay on Topic Oz, there's Meg Williams, Meg Bastard, as she is on Twitter.
So I think we have to now head off to Russell train station and hopefully meet some people joining us on this first Melbourne CroakeyGO. But perhaps we'll catch up at the end of it and see what we...
Sounds good. And I think we should kick off the walk with another periscope just to let people know who's walking today and what are the health matters on their minds.
Will do. See you there.
Thanks, Barry.